happens if we've got the power of attorney? The medical one, obviously.
Okay. It used to be
because I know it's split up.
It used to be a grey area,
Yeah.
but the latest since 1st of April, the power of attorney means that they also have access to the record.
So
it's not a
yeah,
problem.
that's what I was saying. So we'd be able to access, because that's it. You know, honestly, we've got the power to decide my father's treatment.
Yes, yeah. So,
You know,
absolutely.
but I
So
access
exactly.
those
So
records.
you turn around and say, well, if you've got the power to do that,
Yeah.
well, how are you going to
How
decide?
can I
How
decide
are you going to
what
determine
I've
what's
done?
right and wrong? Well, one of them is map of medicine, and the other one is, well, where's my dad?
Yeah.
What conditions has he got? What test results has he got? And it's pretty obvious then. If you start thinking like that, you suddenly start thinking, oh God, this is so damn obvious.
Yeah.
I need access to the records, I need access to the standard, and let's bring it together.
Yeah.
Have you discussed any of this with like medical defence organisations? Because I mean, that normally that's the first port of call for us.
If you want to know what pressure is, it's me standing at the headquarters of the GMC in a very small room with the policy advisor for my defence organisation, who wasn't that far away than you. And this was about a year and a half ago. And we put it on a screen. I'm letting patients see information which may include harmful data and third-party data. But yeah, you're dead right, because I sat there and I thought, if I'm going to get into trouble, where am I going to get in with GMC and defence organisations? And in fact, what was interesting was that we don't really know where the line is. We know what the statutes say, and we also know about the care that people are getting, but we don't quite know where the line is. And so at the moment, we've got fantastic support from the General Medical Council. I've got an article around Partnership of Trust that went into GMC today. On the practice website, you'll see Sir Graham Cato, who was the president of the GMC, came to the practice and met patients and saw what we were doing and very excited about it. When you look at what's expected of doctors according to the GMC rules, and you look at what I'm doing, which is allowing patients to look at their information, the two go hand in hand. You know, so the GMC is very, very supportive. We all recognise that there are some very difficult issues here, but what we also recognise is we've got to get over those issues, and we've got to actually allow the majority of patients to benefit from this. And again, the experience that I've had over the last 3 years and some of the stories I've talked about are indicating that in the vast majority of time, for most people, it's safe. As long as those checks and balances are in place, as long as you've got support structures in place, as long as you've got a complaints procedure in place, so that and there will be a patient who comes to harm, I know of that, but when that one patient comes in and kicks up a stink and all the rest of it, the local care record board can also say, yes, but there were 100 other people that actually greatly benefited from it. It's a bit like cars are dangerous and some people die, but we don't stop getting into a car.
I'm sure the reality is actually having easy access to records may well prevent errors.
Absolutely, yeah, and loads of evidence. I haven't seen, there are very, very few examples of where people have come to harm as a result of sharing of data. Loads of examples of where people have come to harm, right inside my own practice, where the information wasn't there when it was needed.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, if you ask me, that's the reason why I did it, why I've taken time out to come out here to come and talk to you. Because I believe passionately that we need to get that information out and make it available, especially after GPs decided to relinquish the 24-hour on-call. You know, if we're happy to shut at 6 o'clock and not open till 8:30 on a Monday morning or whatever, well, what happens in the meantime? You know, and again, that's what a lot of my patients are saying. Well, it's all right for you, doc, at 6 o'clock you finish, but I've got to look after my diabetes in the meantime. And if you start thinking like that, and that's exactly the kind of conversations we've been having at the National Information Governance Board and various other places, and people are beginning to start to say, I can see now, yes, there are risks, but they're not insurmountable.
Do you feel we need more support at the moment? Because at the moment our supporters, we've done it exactly like you did it. So
you're right, you're it.
Yeah,
you are right.
It's a really interesting one, that. Do we need more support? Do we need, Connecting for Health to support us? Actually, I'm in the eHealth Insider yesterday it was about health space. I'm a champion for health space. I'm actually the primary care IT lead at the Strategic Health Authority. So, so although I've come here in my capacity as a GP, I've been taken up to the SHA and I've been very clearly told, tell me how record access can support the way we deliver care. So a lot of the things that I'm talking to you about, I'm also talking at the Strategic Health Authority level. I'm down in London a lot of the time. I'm meeting the head of patient experience at the Department of Health. This is the future. This is it. Do I really think that we need to wait for them to provide it? Probably not. Why do I say that? Well, actually, because you know your patients better than anybody else. You don't need some edict from London. You don't even need me to come over to tell you about how to look after your patients. you're the best, you'll be in the best position to know what your patients need. And it's just a matter of looking at the technology, looking at what's available, having some sort of understanding of where the bearings are, what sorts of issues to think about, and then starting to gradually gain experience and confidence for you as well as the patients. And if you work together, get patients involved in this, you'll then start to understand how to do it. I call that emergent change, and I would say that's what I would recommend. Don't just, you can start with them. The website is there, it's being built as a way so that it could very easily be transformed. 90% of the information on there is as relevant to you as it is to me. So you could take the same website, but then put your own information in there. And in fact, I say you as an individual, but actually it's being built with a PBC view. So as a PBC consortium, you could turn around and say, this is how we want to organise diabetes care or COPD care or whatever, and then start to imagine what that could do. As a consortium, 5 practices where you're sharing patients and things, and those patients all have access to the records. You've not got then the problem of how do we get a patient who's in another practice come and be treated by, well actually the patient could bring their record along, fantastic. So it's been designed with that form that the website could be designed for a PBC group, or it could be right across the PCT. But I'm not here to sell the website. It's more the concept around there is another way of doing it. The information, the patients register with you as a practice, so that's why rather than just having some generic website that just says this is the menu, if you build it around what you're trying to do and test out things.
Yeah, we have a website, but basically what we started off with was basing it on the practice booklet, and who dictates what goes in the practice booklet but the PCT, which is everything that you've just said patients actually are interested in, which is a list of doctors' names and all their qualifications and how many nurses you've got. Like you said, you've actually geared it more to be personal to that patient.
What I do is when a patient comes in, they'll come in, and what I'm looking at, what information are they providing me? Why have they come in now? What are they expecting from me? How could record access help that information? And what else could I provide for them so that the next time they come, they could be more effective? And that's what goes through my mind all the time. So at the end of the day, I've suddenly had 30 experiences, and out of the 30, I've picked 2 or 3 of them and think, I'm going to stick them on the website. Let me give you an example, though, of how it's not just the doctor. One of my patients went to the out-of-hours service, and when you ring up the out-of-hours, they asked a whole series of questions, and then said, can you come to the out-of-hours service? Came to the out-of-hours service, and then they asked a whole series of more questions, and do you suffer this and do you suffer that? And she got most of it right, but some of them said, oh, silly me, I forgot to do this. What did she do? Partnership of Trust. She wrote an article to say, Dr. Hannon, can you put this on the website so that the next time a patient has to go to the out-of-hours, they can see exactly what's needed of them. I'm going to have a go at trying to get back onto this, because it's really, really good. It's when you look at the power of that, that's using patients to provide the information, and it's the end user. I can't find it now. On the home page, you'll see it. Thanks very much. You'll see it sort of in about the 3rd or 4th paragraph, the section that says, if you go to the out of hours, please click here. And it's being written by a patient, describing exactly what you could do if you've got access to your records and you need to go to the out of hours. And it's that intelligence that makes this whole thing so powerful.
Next our IT lead, you see.
Thank you very, very much for inviting me. I hope this is the start of a discussion rather than just a one-off. Very happy to support you anywhere I can. Good luck, and look forward to hearing about some exciting things coming from here in London.
Thank you.
Oh, I should say, does anyone have any issues about the videoing? Was there anything that was said or discussed?
No, apart from me knocking the thing.
Yeah?
Can you take that bit out?
The what bit did you do?
Me knocking it.
Oh. Thank you very much.
No,
Thank you very much.